guys, it's the Unsmooth Criminal. I'm back with a what if that I wanted to do for a little bit. And I'm sorry about the lol bit one. I'm going to try to make a new version. Yeah, I'm going to make a new version that adds upon that. And it's going to be funny, I swear. Like I did the last one. But I hope you guys like this one. This is going to be what if Deku was Godzilla. Or Godzilla's daughter, if you guys want to get more technical. Or not more technical. Because Godzilla can't really reproduce like normal humans. So we go to the Pacific Ocean. And Godzilla is currently walking around the bottom of the ocean in one of the trenches. And Godzilla's intelligent in this one. Very intelligent. He's not just a primordial being that is very territorial upon other monsters. So he is like, okay, so apparently everybody's getting abilities. Why don't I resurrect? And he's the only creature in existence that can do this. Because he kind of, his cells are kind of like his brain. So one cell could fuel a Godzilla, or can work as a Godzilla brain for its entire life. So he went up to the surface and his intelligence is like, okay, how can I do this? So he plays dead. And they pull apart his brain, seeing like what fueled him. And after like 30, 40, no, 100 to 300 years, like, okay, there's a chance that the other monsters can come back. Why don't we bring back Godzilla? Because he's at least helpful to us. And they go, okay. And so they find a willing participant with a gigantification quirk. And they say, okay, so we are going to implant a embryo into you and you gotta let it grow. And this participant says, sure, okay. And All Might knows about this experiment and he's trying to stop it. Because the monsters they can handle, apparently. Oh my god. So, they are doing this experiment and they go to this teacher at UA. And yes, I'm making Mount Lady a teacher at UA. And she says, sure, she will be a great teacher for this young child. And after a few months, the child is born. The child is born with a tail, without any crystals, but with a tail, scales, and sharp teeth. And this child is currently a little bigger than the average child. And she goes, so what now? And they go, we wait for her to grow up, see if she can remember what Godzilla remembers or not. And so we go to when she's 4, and she's been able to talk for many years, but Godzilla didn't account for was quirks messing up his reincarnation cycle. Or reincarnation method. And so he's technically another mind in this young child's body. So he's like, I'm just going to give this child full control after I explain the abilities that this child has. So the child goes to the quirk doctor when she's 4, and the quirk doctor says, yeah, you got a quirk. And this is one of the scientists that were in this program. And he says, you got a gigantification quirk. And she goes, yay! But what about my scales and tail? And he goes, oh, that's also part of your quirk. Your quirk is actually called Godzilla. And she goes, oh, really? And he goes, yeah. But it's a very frowned upon topic. So I don't suggest you go flaunting around your quirk's name. And she goes, oh, okay. And she's slightly intelligent in this one. A little more than Ken and Zuko at this point. Because she has the IQ of Godzilla, who had an IQ of 300. For Sparta! I'm sorry. But she had a really high IQ, and there you go. I'm going to change my mask after this, so you guys see my new mask. If you guys aren't on Discord, I have a new mask. But she has a high IQ. She goes to school, and she says she has a gigantification quirk. And everybody asks what about the mutation. She goes, it's a lizard mutation that works with my gigantification quirk. And they go, okay. And she's been going to the scientists for the last 3 years of her life. So the first year, she didn't have any effects from her Godzilla DNA. But when she turned turned 1, she started to be very loopy all the time. And when she finally was able to talk, after like 10 months of her trying to say one word, she was saying that she's very dizzy all the time. And Mount Lady is like, okay, since I'm getting paid to do this, I'm taking you to the scientists. And yes, she's getting paid, but she's not doing it for the money. Since she is lesbian, she does have a wife. She couldn't have a child. She wanted a child, so there we go. And you guys can decide the wife. And Mirko is currently a 4-year-old with her in the current timeline, so it can't be Mirko. So we go to the scientists when she finds out she's dizzy all the time, and they go, okay, so they test her, and she's getting drunk off the solar radiation of the planet. And they go, okay, so expose as little skin to the sunlight as possible for now. When you get your quirk, that's when you can expose more skin to the sunlight. And she goes, okay. And I know that's not really how you stop UV radiation, but I'm just saying that's how she's going to stop it. So she does that, and she's not as loopy. And she goes to school like a normal child, and everybody's talking to her because mutation quirks are common now. And she finds a certain mutation quirk that she thinks is kind of cool. And she walks up to this child, and she says hi, and this child says hi, and they start talking. And we go to the start of middle school, and she yells, Rumi, you there? And she goes, yeah. And she jumps down from the tree, and hold on. Okay, I'm back. I just asked my Discord for a name. Thanks, Mina. Freaking can't believe you changed your name again just because I did the lull bit. Oh my god. First you bully me into that. Now you change your name from Roman Mina to the Glitch Roman, or Roman Glitch, whatever you called yourself. Can't believe you did that. So, Liz, I'm gonna say her full name's Elizabeth, but Liz, or Lizzie, she Rumi jumps down and says, oh, hey, Lizzie. And she goes, my name is Elizabeth. Just call me Liz, not Lizzie. And she goes, well, Lizzie's so much funner to say. And she goes, fine, whatever. And Rumi goes, "You ready for class?" She goes, "Nope." She goes, "Good." And they run to class, and we go to the end of middle school because she had a normal life. She did have a heroic mother that did flaunt her assets a lot. So Momo's going to stay in Class 1A, but Uraraka is leaving Class 1A. She's a full-on hero now. So you don't need to mention who or choose who her wife is. I found one. Uraraka and Mount Lady is that ship. Yes, I'm doing that what if. So we go to the 10-month training arc. This is going to be full of stuff. So the 10-month training arc starts off like normal. The what is it? The sludge villain attack. But instead of the sludge villain actually being able to get into her mouth to start taking her over, he starts getting radiation sickness or radiation poisoning by just touching her. And she goes, "Oh, yeah, you're about to die. How about this?" And she picks him up and puts him in a bottle and says, "There you go. Now you're coming with me." And she takes him to the laboratory and says, "Yo, assholes, I'm here." And you go, "Oh, hey, Liz. And she goes, "Oh, hey, Dr. Ujiko. Fuck off. I don't like you." He goes, "Okay, we have some more tests to run." And she goes, "God damn it, I don't like your goddamn tests." And he goes, "It's just gonna be a quick test." And he taps her and goes, "The test is, can you use something?" And she goes, "Oh, God, no, not again." And he goes, "Yeah, sorry, but he's requested." And she goes, "Who?" And he goes, "The big man." And she goes, "Damn it. If I wasn't freaking sold off to you guys when I was 10, I would be freaking with my parents." And he goes, "Yeah, that's not your parents. Your father's Godzilla." And she goes, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, Godzilla's cells have a tendency to not die ever. So we kind of pulled him apart, killing him, which, when you take something's brain out, it kind of kills them. Unless you're that one freak that we have in cell 2. That guy just doesn't die no matter how many bullets we put into him. And it was a bad idea we gave him that metal skeleton. Oh my god." And she goes, "That's your own damn fault." He goes, "Yeah, but now we're giving you some more, and you gotta make sure that you can use them." It's just fine. So he gives her regeneration, complete and utter regeneration. He gives her super strength, super speed, and a telekinesis quirk. And he forgot that her gigantification and her Godzilla DNA are boosting these quirks. The gigantification because it's absolute growth, which makes everything grow when she grows. So if she could only lift small things when she's small, she grows to max size and she can lift whatever the hell she wants. So she starts to grow and be like, let's do something fun. And she powers up a radiation blast from her mouth, because she does have Godzilla's radiation breath. And she powers it up and gets ready by burping first. She burps to get them off guard, and then she blasts every single scientist there. Be like, all you assholes are jerks. I don't like any of you. And she walks out and be like, yeah, this is going to be fun. And she starts wreaking havoc like she wants to, because she just wants to have some fun. And after 6 straight years of just plain old being trapped in a cage unless she's going to school, she's tired of just sitting by and waiting for people to do stuff. So she starts destroying buildings. She's max height, and she changed a little. She has a lot more scales, and the crystals on her back are starting to grow larger. And it's in the middle of the day. She has no clothes on. Scales are protecting all of her private parts, so no one can see her private parts. And she's currently wreaking havoc. She's absorbing the solar radiation that's hitting her. And she starts getting drunk. And she starts destroying more so she can get even more solar radiation. Because when she destroys something, she has more sunlight hit her. Because she has more room to see. And so she walks into the forest. And she just stands there. With her arms out wide and eyes closed. And just stands there. And then she falls back. And she flops on the ground and she starts dozing off. And she finally meets the big man himself. Godzilla! Or how Peanut says it. Flap your mouth and then you say it without moving your mouth. Godzilla! And so she's like, oh, hey, dude. And he goes, well, this is a little bit annoying. And she goes, what do you mean? And he goes, I wanted to be reincarnated completely. Well, it's now up to you. And she goes, what do you mean? And he goes, it's now up to you to fight the monsters and become the queen of monsters. And she goes, yeah, no. And he goes, oh, don't worry. They're weaklings compared to what you can do. And she goes, yeah, still no. And he goes, oh, come on. It'll be fun. And she goes, really? And he goes, yeah. You just get to show your dominance. You get to flaunt your power. And you get to show the world that or what I used to be is still back. Is still here. Godzilla is still here. And she goes, cool. So where's your lair? And he goes, underwater. And she goes, what? He goes, yeah. It's off the coast of Japan. And she goes, I live in Japan. And he goes, okay, so what you want to do is go to Tokyo and go 2 miles off the coast and grow to max size and sink to the bottom of the trench that's closest to you. And she goes, okay. So she does so, and she just looks around, and she can see perfectly fine. And she goes into this cave, and she gets up on the ledge, and she sees how big the cave is. And she's like, what is this cave made out of? Ugh. And she touches the thing in it, and it starts to shrink. And the cave slowly crumbles away. To show an imprint of a man. She walks over to the imprint, and she's currently in giant form. She walks over to the imprint and sees the man in the crystal. Instead of a blue crystal, it's a yellow crystal now. So she looks and she sees the man in here and goes, okay. And he opens his eyes. And he breaks out of the crystal and he starts talking. And she goes, whoa, 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 slow down. And he's like, oh, you speak Japanese, not American. So he starts talking in Japanese. And she goes, okay, there we go. Now I can understand you. And he says, what are you doing here? This is my domain. And she goes, no, this is my domain. And he goes, what right do you have to claim this domain that it belongs to me? And she goes, well, I'm the queen of the monsters. Why wouldn't I have right? And he goes, there's no ruler of the monsters anymore. There's only monsters that own their domain. And she goes, well, the queen's back, and I'm her, so shoo. And he's like, what the hell? And this is like 2 months into the training thing. So he's like, what the hell do you think you're doing? This is my domain because I was the first one here. She goes, no, I was. And he goes, what do you mean? And she goes, well, and she shows the crystals on her back. And he goes, oh. Huh. Hold on. Came back. And she goes, so you want to rethink that? And he goes, nope. And he socks her in the face. And she's close to, so they're like 60 meters tall. Yes, they're freaking tall. Like 60 meters tall. He's like 50 meters tall. So it's a big difference. And he goes flying after she just turns towards him and punches him back. He goes flying into the crystal and he's like, ow. And she goes, you want to doubt me again? And he goes, hell yeah. Let's get up to the surface. And she goes, sure, why not? And so she touches the crystal and the crystal just starts to shrink. He goes, what the hell? And she goes, yeah, I was hungry. Sorry, let's go. And she jumps into the water because this is an air-filled cave. And she jumps into the water and starts to swim up to the surface. And you don't see this. You see this. It's currently night, foggy, and everybody's like, what is that? You see this, just two of them. That's a bit of a closer image. I just need to thank someone real quick. The Crunchy Fett, if you're watching this, thank you, dude. This is a really great image to show what it looks like. And the idea that I came up with for your what if, you're welcome. I was planning on doing a Godzilla one anyway, so hopefully you can make that one work. So keep up the good work, dude. You're doing great. Back on topic. And she is just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with him. They're punching each other, they're kicking each other, they're slamming each other with breath attacks. If I remember correctly, the three-headed dude is able to shoot fire or lightning. I think he's able to shoot lightning. They're hitting each other with breath attacks. And this is all happening, and the cameras are getting this all on camera. Because buildings are being taken down, boats are being destroyed, and they're still off the coast. They're like a mile off the coast. And she's finally, screw this. And she kicks him where the sun don't shine. And he falls down and be like, you cheated. And she goes, I don't care. And he goes, oh my God. And she goes, you should have grown protection down there. And he goes, I did. And she goes, not enough protection. And he goes, damn you. She goes, no, it's you who took my home. And she dives back underneath the water, and they're like, where the hell did she go? And she gets back to her home, and she starts to slow down. Oi, Leo. There's nothing over there. The cat's stalking a squirrel that's just going to run away faster than he can get it. But she's currently what is it? She's currently going back, and she lays herself into the crystal, and a crystal fits her perfectly. The big crystal, not the small crystal where he was, because she got rid of the small crystal. And the front of the crystal starts to form back around her, and she closes her eyes. And she waits. She waits so long because she forgot to turn off her own creation of the crystal, that someone hits the crystal. And this isn't just anybody. This is a male Mothra. He hit the crystal, and she woke up and busted out and go like, "Who the hell disturbs my sleep?" And he's like, "Hey." And she's like, "Oh, beautiful." He goes, "Thank you." I'm going to end it there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I may redo this part. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe make it just a quirk. You guys tell me what I did wrong, or if you guys want me to change it at all. So, talk to you guys later.